KTOX.com. It's all about reliable high-speed service and much more.
From the KTOX AM 1340 and 92.9 FM Weather Center, I'm Charles Dixon. Overcast clouds and 77 degrees on Route 66 in Needles, and good afternoon to listeners in Oatman. Currently overcast clouds and 70 degrees for you. Getting down to 57 overnight tonight. Wednesday's high will be in the upper 80s, sky is clear. Temperatures in the upper 90s on Thursday. That's your KTOX Tri-State weather. Brought to you by Route 66 Broadband.
KTOX. The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Ruben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I think we shall.
The Miss Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM 92.9 FM. The Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
Makes you wanna scream and shout. Presidential party. No one wants to dance. Looking for a new star.
And good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM. And welcome to the Tuesday 2A edition of the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. I'm a little bit fired up tonight because across this beautiful nation of ours, our God-given, constitutionally protected rights to keep and bear arms is under, well, fresh attack once again. While the real world keeps proving gun grabbers completely and totally wrong, we're going to spend the next 20 or so minutes talking about the brand new anti-gun laws that they just rammed through Virginia and the ones passed by the Minnesota Senate, passing yesterday. And, of course, the heartbreaking but very targeted shooting that happened in Texas today in Carrollton. We're going to do it with one clear eye on the Second Amendment because that's not a suggestion. It's not a privilege. And sure the heck isn't up for negotiation by politicians who've never met a law-abiding citizen they didn't want to disarm. So let's kick this off by talking a little bit about what happened today in Carrollton, Texas. Around noon in K-Town, in the K-Town Plaza, that's a shopping center off of Highway 121 there, deep in the heart of Texas, a 60-year-old man named Sung Hang Ho opened fire during what police are calling a business meeting that had gone bad. Three are fighting their lives in the hospital. The suspect was arrested after a foot chase. This wasn't some random mass shooting in a gun-free zone. It was a targeted dispute between people who knew each other. And yes, tragically, every innocent life lost is a tragedy. But here's the part of the gun control crowd never wants to say out loud. This happened in Texas, a constitutional carry state, a shall issue permits and more lawful gun owners per capita than just about anywhere. The bad guy in this just didn't care about any laws on the books. Criminals never do. It's why we don't blame the tool, we blame the heart of the person who pulls the damn trigger. And we don't respond by stripping the rights from millions of law-abiding people who use their firearms responsibly every single day for self-defense, hunting, or for sport. And yes, for protection against tyranny, just like our founders intended. Think about it. If Soong Han Ho had wanted to obey the law, he wouldn't have pulled the trigger in the first place. But he didn't. And no amount of paperwork, waiting periods, or magazine limits would have stopped him. The cold reality is Democrats in Virginia and Minnesota, and Washington, D.C. refuse to face. Now let's high step across the country to Virginia. Because what happened there in April ought to have woke every gun owner up. Fresh off the election, the Democrat-controlled legislature and Governor Abigail Spanger pushed through more than a dozen, some say as many as 25 new gun control measures. And she signed the big ones. Effective mostly July 1st, but here's what they did. They banned the future sale, manufacture, and transfer of so-called assault weapons. That's an HB 217. And SB 749. That means your AR, your favorite semi-automatic rifle, even certain shotguns, if they look scary to some bureaucrat in Richmond. Magazines over 15 rounds, banned for new sales. Guns you already own are supposedly grandfathered for now, but good luck transferring them to your kids or selling them later. They also raised the purchase age for so-called assault firearms to the age of 21. They restored universal background checks on private sales, closing what they call the Lynchburg loophole. They expanded red flag laws so doctors, family members, even school administrators can petition to take your guns with almost no due process. They passed mandatory storage laws. If there's a kid or a prohibited person in the house, you got to lock them up. They also passed something called a ghost gun ban. That limits, that makes it illegal for you to build your own firearm. Limits on carrying certain firearms on public property, college campuses, and more. Look, this isn't gun safety. This is gun confiscation by 1,000 cuts. These are the same Democrats who just a few years ago were screaming about assault weapons after every high-profile tragedy, and now they're doing it in a state that used to be solid red. Virginia went from a constitutional carry discussions to this nightmare in one election cycle. And here's what they'll never tell you. That none of these laws would have stopped criminals in Chicago, Baltimore, or even targeted shooting in Clayton or Carrollton today. Criminals don't go to buy their guns at Walmart or through background checks. They steal them. They get them on the black market, or they already own them illegally. Study after study, even the ones the left tries to bury, shows that lawful gun owners commit crimes at a lower rate than the general population. Defensive gun use happen 2 to 3 million times a year in this country. And that's not my opinion, that's the data. But the media only reports the tragedies and never the story of the grandmother who stopped a home invasion or the store owner who ended an armed robbery before it even started. Virginia laws are a direct result on the Supreme Court's rulings in Heller and Bruin. The Second Amendment isn't just about muskets in 1791. It protects weapons in common use for lawful purposes and includes the modern sporting rifle that millions of Americans own and have never misused. The founders put that amendment second for a reason right after free speech. They knew an armed citizenry is the ultimate check on government tyranny. Yes, I said tyranny. Because when politicians start disarming people while they are while themselves are protected by armed security, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to smell something is rotten. Now let's head on off to Minnesota, because yesterday, May 4th, the Minnesota Senate passed its own sweeping gun control package on a razor-thin 34-33 vote. They want to ban the sale and possession of semi-automatic military-style assault weapons. That's basically every single popular semi-auto rifle and many handguns, plus high-capacity magazines over 10 rounds. Grandfathering for current owners, you have to register them with the state. And there are all kinds of restrictions on where you can even keep them. And just for good measure, they threw in a ghost gun ban, a ban on binary triggers, and more. It's being sold as a response to last year's church shooting, but let's be honest, it's the same old playbook. The House is tied right now, but so these bills may end up dying there. But the fact the Senate even passed them tells you everything you need to know about where the radical left wants to take this country. Governor Tampon Tim Walz and the DFL are pushing for an Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Also, more taxes on guns and ammo, state safe storage mandates, and the whole 9 yards. They want you to believe that if only law-abiding citizens couldn't buy an AR-15, the bad guys would magically lay down their arms. History says otherwise. Look at California, New York, Illinois. They all have the strictest gun control laws in the nation and some of the highest violent crime rates. Criminals don't follow laws. That's why they're criminals. Meanwhile, in places like Vermont, New Hampshire, with minimal restrictions, you don't see the same chaos. It's not the guns. It's the culture. It's the breakdown of family, the soft-on-crime policies that release repeat offenders onto the street the same day, and the failure to address mental health. And yes, the godless vacuum that leaves young men without fathers, without purpose, and without God. The Second Amendment isn't about hunting. It isn't about target shooting. It's about the fundamental human right to defend your life, your family, and your liberty. The founders studied history. They knew that every time a government disarms its people, tyranny follows. James Madison called it the militia the best security for a free state. Thomas Jefferson said the strongest reason for people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is to protect themselves against tyranny in government. And they weren't joking because they lived through it. So what do? First, we refuse to comply with unconstitutional laws. We support the sheriffs and prosecutors that have already said that they won't enforce these infringements. We train, we carry, we teach our kids about responsible gun ownership. And then we vote like our rights depend on it, because it does. Then we call our state representatives here in Arizona, California, Nevada, and Virginia and Minnesota and tell them, hands off the Second Amendment. And we never, ever let the tragedy of the day, whether it's in Clareton today or some future horror, become an excuse to punish the innocent. Because here's the truth the left can't stand. An armed society is a polite society. An armed society is a polite society. Law-abiding Americans with guns stop more crime than all the gun control laws combined. The blood of patriots and tyrants, remember? It's not just the bumper sticker, that's the price of liberty. So to every law-abiding gun owner listening tonight, the politicians are coming for your rights. Stay strong. Keep your powder dry, literally and figuratively. Teach your children the truth about the Constitution. And most importantly, never apologize for exercising the rights of our Creator and our founders. This is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's Undisputed Talk Leaders. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM. I want to hear from you. 855-586-9134. We'll be right back. KTOX News.
Some people call me Maurice. 'Cause I speak.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-State's Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh, okay.
Well, we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Oh,
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it going to be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Tell the world I see with an emoji to stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at iwitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
KTOX Needles, the very best in live local talk.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. We've got a couple calls holding. Let's go to the first one here. KTOX, you're on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Well, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
And, I just wanted to say, I think that you're being a little kind of like not honest here with everybody, considering the fact that there's been a whole bunch of Republicans that have called for gun controls here in the last year or so.
Like who?
Well, like our president, and he's done it before. I mean,
I know. I don't trust him either. But it's mostly hang on, Chuck. If you're going to just override me,
when you say no, you're overriding.
Okay, thanks for calling. Anyway, KTOX, you're on the air.
Hi, Rob. This is Sane Kenny.
It's Insane
Yucca.
Kenny from Yucca. My gosh, how you doing, my friend?
I'm fine, thank you. Obviously, all these so-called laws are unconstitutional.
Of course they are.
And they're gonna be challenged. But the problem is, the challenge costs money.
Millions of
Second
dollars.
Amendment Foundation. Beg your pardon?
Millions of dollars on both sides get spent fighting these things. God knows how many millions of dollars of California has paid, has spent in taxpayer funds trying to defend their unconstitutional gun laws.
And the Second Amendment Foundation members, NRA members, are the ones paying the other half.
That's correct.
To fight them.
That's correct. And they have very, very effective fundraising for themselves.
The Second Amendment Foundation always has about 50 lawsuits for these types of things going on constantly.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should see the lawsuits that are now starting to crop up for Virginia. And Virginians, oh, my God, they are pissed. Absolutely pissed.
Virginia is the same thing as Arizona. You've Northern Virginia, all around D.C. area, is all Democrats. It's all blue. It's all the enemy. And the same thing in Arizona, around Phoenix, Tucson, that area. It's all Democrats. And they're the ones who who cater to the illegal aliens who go and vote and get us in these predicaments.
Yeah.
But that's something that's going to have to be ironed out after we get our guns back. But
yeah.
But yeah, they promote ideas that lead to civil war. That's the ideas that they promote. So why aren't we preparing ourselves for civil war?
Because civil war is the absolute last option. It's the absolute last option, Kenny. Are you ready to pick up your rifle and start shooting at people? Are you ready? Seriously, are you ready to start picking up and shooting at people? Your friends, your neighbors, your family, if necessary. Are you ready for that?
Answer?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
May
Go
I
ahead.
answer?
Yeah.
I've been ready since the Clinton administration.
Okay, so why haven't you?
There has to be a militia type activity to put it all together. It has to be organized.
Okay.
It can't be just individuals going out shooting a bunch of people of color because they're the ones causing most of the problems.
So in other words, no random acts of violence. So no solo terrorist activity. You want everybody else to be there beside you before you'll before you'll start doing anything about it.
Well, there at least needs to be an organized plan.
There's very rarely an organized plan when it comes down to civil war.
Well, plans are always the first thing that go in an operation, in a military operation.
Yeah. It's Murphy's second law of warfare.
Right.
Or maybe it's the first law of warfare. I don't know. I don't remember. It's one of those two.
But they've got themselves segregated in these places that Sacramento County, L.A. County,
mm-hmm.
Phoenix, Maricopa County, Tucson, down in that area. They've got them all the enemies pretty much concentrated in all these areas.
Well, here's an idea. Rather than, picking up and starting a civil war, which, trust me, nobody's ready for. Nobody's ready for it. Nobody wants it. Why don't we start with a campaign of getting rid of the politicians that are causing the issues? If it's a Republican suggesting gun control measures, they go. If it's a Democrat suggesting gun control measures, they go. The ATF just this last week announced that they are deregulating a whole bunch of Second Amendment related regulations. Now, how effective that's going to be in preserving the Second Amendment to people, that's a completely different story. But that comes on the heels of President Trump's, a year ago, he put out a memo, or whatever that is, an executive order for the ATF to go through all their regulations and take out anything that deals with the people's right to keep and bear arms. So what did they do? Well, they revamped the what is it? The paperwork you fill out. I can't remember the name of the form off the top of my head. They also removed any regulatory speech against bump stocks or the reflex triggers. Okay, they actually made a definition of a machine gun. They also codified in their own regulations the removal of the fee, the tax for suppressors, and about 30 more of them. And they said this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
Well,
now, whether or not these things actually make a bit of difference, time will tell.
Well, I just want to point out that for all these laws that they're coming up with, it takes people to enforce them.
That's correct.
And since the laws are illegal, to enforce them, they're obeying illegal laws.
Correct. And this comes down to a point where your local sheriff matters. Your local sheriff matters because people don't understand this. The county sheriff is the arbiter of what's legal and not legal in a county.
Right.
And he can say, look, this law I'm not going to enforce, but it is unconstitutional, and I refuse to enforce it on those grounds. And guess what? He can get away with it.
Well, Sheriff Schuster did exactly that during COVID. He said, I'm not going to be enforcing your illegal laws concerning COVID.
Right.
And things calmed down after that. The economy picked up here in this area. Tourists came to this area because they could be free. They could shop for whatever they wanted in the stores without having to wear masks.
Well, yeah, unless the store wanted to be a particular pain, which some of them were.
Yeah, but Sheriff Schuster said he's not going to enforce it. It's unconstitutional, and he won't enforce it.
Yeah, no, I went through a drive-through. And they refused to serve me because I didn't have a mask on in my car. I said, well, great, then I refuse to pay you, and drove off. So, yeah. Well, it was nonsense. It was nonsense. But how, once again, all right, is your sheriff going to enforce these state gun regulations or state gun laws? And if they are, well, guess what? It's time for them to go. Because guess what? They can be recalled. They can be voted out of office. Also,
well, we've got one of the best sheriffs.
No,
he's proven it.
We really do. We have a very good sheriff here there in Mojave County. The sheriff's department and the sheriff here in Riverside and where the hell are we?
Mojave?
No, not here in Needles. Not Riverside, but bless it. San Bernardino County. Right. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, pretty damn good.
In fact, that sheriff's running for governor.
Yeah, he is. And I would love to have him on the show. Because he's a good guy, and he believes in individual rights, and he believes in the Constitution. He's not another California Democrat. Let's put it that way.
Well, the problem is we're kind of putting all Californians in the same Democrat pot.
Well, it's kind of hard not to because, take a look at what's come out of Sacramento, even when there's a Republican governor.
Well, we're assuming that the elections are on the square.
That is also a great big concern as well. All right, Kenny, well, I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation, have an actual conversation about it. We'll be right back. K2X Needles. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Dandy Donuts and Deli offers the best donuts and pastries in the tri-state area, hands down, and they are baked fresh every day. Dandy features 9 flavors of boba tea and a variety of smoothies, including espresso, mocha, and Thai tea. Their deli menu makes for a perfect lunch when you're on the go. Dandy Donuts and Deli at 4630 Highway 95 in Fort Mojave. Order online for fast pickup or call 928-444-1100.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
Voodoo Cove Restaurant, Bar, and Lounge in Bullhead City is right on the river and has a unique vibe. Voodoo Cove's one-of-a-kind menu catches your eye right away. A big dining area and outdoor patio seating if you prefer. The food is great for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast calzones, burgers, and wraps for lunch, and brisket and fried chicken for dinner. Voodoo Cove has a full bar and NFL tickets so you can watch your favorite team while you dine. Voodoo Cove is at 2247 Clearwater Drive in Bullhead City. Open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to midnight, Friday and Saturday.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private, and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. Swantees of Bullhead City wants to make your life easier. Swantees has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantees features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantees wants your car paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
Dandy Donuts and Deli offers the best donuts and pastries in the tri-state area, hands down, and they are baked fresh every day. Dandy features 9 flavors of boba tea and a variety of smoothies, including espresso, mocha, and Thai tea. Their deli menu makes for a perfect lunch when you're on the go. Dandy Donuts and Deli at 4630 Highway 95 in Fort Mojave. Order online for fast pickup or call 928-444-1100.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
Route 66 Broadband has always provided the fastest and most reliable service in Mojave Valley, Golden Shores, Golden Valley, and Needles. Amazing speed and flexible data plans. Digital TV and phone service available too. In Needles, call 760-326-4190. In Mojave Valley, call 928-565-4190. Visit their website at route66broadband.com.
KTOX, we bring you facts without fear or favor.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Oh. You know, here is another very sad story of what happens when you don't allow one to be armed. And I'm talking about the mean streets of Seattle, where two thugs brutally assault a 77-year-old man on the streets of Seattle. One of them remains at large, and then guess what? The second one is released from jail. Anyway, video surveillance has emerged showing footage of two human beings assaulting an elderly man in far left Seattle with no particular reason. As the mayor whines about such footage, now both are walking free. As KOMO News reported Monday, the Seattle police released footage this week captured from the city's real-time crime center surveillance cameras, which showed these two youths attacking a 77-year-old male at the corner of Pike Street in the downtown area. The incident occurred on April 19th. The video starts with these two sauntering down the street, one trying to pull up his jeans. The elderly man walks slowly towards them. The video then goes on with the two thugs proceed to shove the elderly man. Throwing him to the ground and slug him multiple times and walk away as if nothing ever happened. Here's the sad part. Not a single bystander offered a hand to the victim, who stayed hunched over on the ground and just frankly couldn't get up. These wonderful thugs are next seen walking into McDonald's for police catch up to one of them and place him under arrest. It's now reported that the suspect arrested was 29-year-old Ahmed Abadahi of Bellevue, Washington. He's been charged with second-degree assault. The second suspect was not arrested. Police are still searching for him. After being placed in handcuffs, Osmond gave a shout out to Seattle's communist pro-criminal mayor, Katie Wilson. And according to the police report obtained by KOMO News, the victim was hospitalized for at least a week following the assault. The injuries include a broken arm, a broken knee, and facial injuries. The victim told police that he had just gotten off the bus when this dirtbag and his accomplice launched their savage attack upon him. Now, Seattle police booked him into jail the night of the assault, and he was later freed before a bail hearing while police are still looking into the case. This means that him and his accomplices are both back out on the street. Now, an arrest warrant has been issued for dirtbag number one. And prosecutors are now calling for a bail of $200,000. They'll be lucky if they find him. But we have a city that is so convinced that the thugs have control that no one stepped in to help, no one stepped in to stop it. And the 77-year-old man, he was defenseless from the start. Not allowed to carry a firearm, not allowed to be protected in any way. And no one else on the streets bothered to even try to stop it. Because they're not armed either. When we talk about tyranny, this is the tyranny that we're talking about. The tyranny of lawlessness. The tyranny of just one more desperate attempt to try and live a decent life, and some thug comes and takes it all away from you. Because they can, and they know they'll get away with it. You don't think having a gang come in and steal everything out of your store isn't tyranny? It most certainly is. And here on the left coast, we've enacted legislation that tells us that if we try to defend ourselves, our families, our loved ones, that we are the ones that are going to get prosecuted. We're going to be the ones spending the rest of our lives in jail. While the real terrorists, the real criminals, the real thugs enjoy being able to go out and commit their crimes again and again and again and again without repercussions. Congratulations, Seattle. Congratulations, Virginia. Congratulations, Minnesota, California, New York, Illinois, and any other state that is considering massive gun regulation and disarming your populace. Congratulations for making new victims. Congratulations for being sponsors of the tyranny of crime. Yeah, I'm fully aware that there have been Republicans that have called for gun control regulations. One of them in particular is, well, he's not serving anymore because he resigned in disgrace. And that was the ding-dong out of Texas, whose seat is up for grabs right now. And Brandon Herrera, the AK guy, is the front runner for that entire election. They've called him the shoo-in. Of course, nothing's final until the last vote is counted. But at least there'll be one more Congress critter in Washington, D.C. that is not an anti-Second Amendment idiot. He may actually decide that he wants to fight for Americans' rights to keep and bear arms. I just wish I could vote for him here from Arizona or California or Nevada. I can't. All I can do is send good wishes. However, here in beautiful Arizona, we have Space Cadet Mark Kelly, who is as anti-gun as the day is long. Now, I understand his reasonings for his anti-gun views. The fact is, his wife was shot in the head by a lunatic in Phoenix. She survived. But one of the things that even Space Cadet Kelly can't seem to come to grips with, that man was stopped with somebody with a concealed firearm. That man was stopped with a good guy with a gun. And every year, good guys with guns stop 1 million to 2 million gun crimes a year, or violent crimes a year. And they are very rarely reported upon. So that's another thing we need to change. That's another thing we need to change. We need to start reporting upon the crimes that are stopped cold. That's how you preserve your Second Amendment rights, by utilizing your First Amendment rights, by telling the damn truth that guns do save lives. That gun-free zones do nothing but set up a whole host of nothing but victims and targets. And if that's the world you want to live in, I know of a couple of countries very close that do just that. Anyway, it is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. We'll be back after top of the hour news. KTOX Needles.